we have to map all the working constraints of our brain. For mapping the constraints of brain, we have to go over the concepts of psychological neuroscience. Obviously, the image processing is basically works just like a pre-processing phase for the computer vision, and obviously for generating for capturing the images or for creating the real-time object for the renderization. Computer graphics is also core component for the computer vision. So all these are the core component of the computer vision. And what is the difference between the AI, machine learning, and deep learning? Artificial intelligence can say that the engineering of making intelligent machines and program. Obviously, we have tried to automate all the activities. We have tried to make the machine as intelligent as like a human being. And how it has been quite possible through the machine learning and through the deep learning paradigm. Basically, machine learning is subset of AI. Here we can say that machine learning is subset of AI, and basically the machine learning is ability to learn without being explicitly programmed. Because the traditional programming जो होती थी, we are in traditional programming, we try to automate all the activities. They try to make the intelligent system based on the nesting of decision control statement, just like we are using if else, if else, if else, if else. Based on that programming statement, we try to automate some sort of decision control statement, yeah, some sort of decision statement. But with the help of machine learning, there are no need of explicitly program. With the help of data, we can directly learn. Just like a human being simply feed karte data, then able to learn from the data directly. That's on based on the same concept, machine learning. There are no need of explicitly program. Based on the data, they can directly learn. And deep learning, here you can say the deep learning is a subset of machine learning. A learning which are based on the deep neural networks, or learning which are derived for the general learning of our human brain. So I can say that the AI is basically is a broader domain, and machine learning is a subset of AI, and deep learning is a subset of machine learning. General definition, through this diagram, we wanted to clear what is the definition of machine learning. Or basically, there are lots of confusion regarding the machine learning. Here we can say that some sort of algorithm, some sort of methods are here in the form of elephant, and mathematics and statistical analysis are incorporated in the forms of penguin. When you combine both, it means here this diagram says that basically the machine learning is a combination of algorithm plus math, where in math basically we are covering the entire statistical concepts, just like regressions, curve fitting, all these concepts. So the combination of some sort of procedure plus some sort of mathematics which are derived from the statistical approach are known as machine learning in broader sense. In 2019, the simple linear regression model y is equal to beta x, yeah, y is equal to ax plus c, general linear regression model in 2019, we generally saying that this model is just known as a statistical tool, yes, a curve fitting tool for the yeah, some sort of regression model. But in 2019, the same equation, same y is equal to ax plus b is directly used as a machine learning or linear regression model, which are being used for the forecasting or some sort of prediction and some sort of basically this one is the mathematics, this one is statistical techniques. This is just like a linear regression model. But in 2009, we justly thinking that this is the simple curve fitting model which is used for the data. But in 2019, the same concept are being used but for the different applications, just like forecasting and prediction. Then we're saying that this is machine learning. So all the concepts of machine learning are derived from the statistical based approaches. This is the current understanding of the machine learning engineer. And in the market, everyone's want to work on the area of machine learning. They have high enthusiasm. We want to work in the area of machine learning. But No one say bother about their mathematics. Just say what is the mathematics behind it. I think that there are only few people who are there, they care about the mathematics of machine learning. Machines versus child. For the learning of simple child, for the learning of childs, there are only few input parameters are there are need of a few input parameters, and based on that input parameters, child are able to learn. This is here we are giving only two inputs of dogs or two different category of dogs, and the child are able to learn based on these two inputs. They are able to discriminate the different categories of dogs, because the humans are natural intelligent. But for the machine learning or for the neural network model, we are try to automate all the activities, try to automate all the recognition process. Then we need a lots of input for the modeling, different variety and different variation of input. Or after feeding all these inputs, that neural network will train the weights according to that, and after that they are able to learn and predict the categories of the objects. uh, this is a kind of joke regarding the machine learning. When machine learning algorithm walks into a bar, the bartender asks what you have. The algorithm say what's everyone else having. This is the learning. This is the supervised learning. They are asking that, okay, what others are taking. On behalf of that, they are able to take their decision. It's an example
Excuse me,
for
sir. Voice is somewhat low.
why is this? Okay, now it is clear. Now I'm audible to all.
Yes, sir.
So basically, with the help of this example, I wanted to say that uh, they are to machine learning wanted to predict the decision based on their past learning. What everyone else having. On behalf of that, they are able to predict what they have to take. Uh, this is a beginner challenge. This is also kind of everyone when I start the research in the computer vision area, and they have suppose that they have trained some sort of model using any machine learning and computer vision techniques, and they wanted to predict the some sort of objects. Suppose that the starting accuracy of the model is not too good. The reason is that there are lots of gaps are there. But here we are given just like we are taking a just example for that. We have started machine learning today and try to classify myself, and the machine learning is able to they are predicting myself as a Obama. It means here the characters basically wanted to say that the characteristics of this object, they are this man, is quite similar to the Obama. Basically, they have trained the model based on their color. Only they have used the features for the training of the model is color. So based on the color, the machine is not able to interpret the objects. That's why here they are predicting the particular person in Obama, and this is also false positive for that. But what is the reason behind that? Because at the low level, the feature extraction level, they have to incorporate some sort of shape features or some sort of texture features. We can represent the exact characteristics or exact content of the objects. Because based on contents of color, we are not able to predict the object. Here where they have trained the model at the starting level, and because they have trained the model at the starting level, and they wanted to predict the object, and there may be chances that outcome is wrong. This is a major challenge of machine learning model. Even the human who are born and natural intelligent, they are not able to predict the particular cases who are in depression mode and who are not in depression modes. Suppose that we have taken these pictures from the movie Joker. These persons are highly depressed, but they are laughing frequently. This we are in this another example, we have taken a serious lady, and there when you map the machine learning model based on the our learning and based on the general learning of the depressive data sets, then the on only will predict that these persons are 90% depressed because he is very serious. And these persons are laughing, and that's why the machine learning will predict that these persons are depressed only 10%. What is the reason behind that? The major reason is that in that scenario, the natural intelligent person, the human being, is also not able to predict the objects, because we have trained the model based on the past learning. And the past learning क्या करती है? Suppose that someone is happy and they are enjoying and their face is quite charmful, then it's okay. They are not in depressive mode, and someone is serious, then it's a depression mode. Lekin depressive content may be different from the different paradigm, and that in that scenario we are not able to predict the real situation with the help of machine learning and computer vision techniques through the visualization. We have to incorporate the additional features, just like their physical characteristics, their daily routines. We have to consider the additional features based on their habitual work. We're, this is another surprised examples. Actually, the site, the name of this site is "The Person Does Not Exist." This website uses AI to create infinite fake faces. It means this site is creating the all faces with the help of deep neural network GAN, generative adversarial network. With the help of generative adversarial network, they are creating the faces by using the unsupervised learning mechanism with GAN. These persons are fake. Actually, in real, these persons are the generated. These are the fake faces which are generated with the help of GAN network, a deep neural network based model. And the site, you can also traverse the site this person does not exist.com, and when we are clicking on this site, they will generate a new face, and that person basically that person's in real scenario, the person that doesn't exist, but you can believe that this person is the visual appearance of these pictures are quite plausible. It seems you can believe that the persons are exist in the real world, but all these are the fake faces that are generated with the help of GAN, generative adversarial network. You can also visit this slide, this site. This person does not exist, and you can explore more here. These are the general AI domains. This is the basic machine learning components based on the deep learning, supervised learning, and deep unsupervised learning. Another applications of AI domains are based on the NLP, in which we can consider the domain area of content extraction, classification, machine translation, question answering, text generation, or you can design some sort of expert system for the decision making with the help of AI domain. Another concept area are computer vision, image recognition, and machine vision. And another one are the speech recognition, some sort of planning for the and robotic activities are directly also related to the artificial intelligence. So these are the AI domains. This is the general machine learning paradigm, where you can say that this one is the general. First one is the basically classical learning, जो machine learning का basic है. Basically, the classical learning is divided into the supervised learning and unsupervised learning. Supervised learning, there are lots of classification techniques based on the KNN, Bayesian classifier, SVM, decision tree, logistic regression. Some sort of regression model is there based on the linear regressions, logistic regressions are there. For unsupervised learning, clustering, pattern search, and dimensionality reduction with the help of PCA or based on the t-test, based on the support vector dimension reduction, they are based on the linear discriminant analysis. You can also use the patterns such as some sort of confidence and some sort of link. We can derive some sort of link using the a priori and other algorithms. A clustering, various clustering algorithms are available in the literature, K-means, agglomerative, Davis scans. All these are the classical learning of machine learning paradigm. After that, some sort of some sort of improvement is incorporated with this classical approaches, and basically some sort of other domains which are derived basically. That one is the reinforced learning based on the penalty and reward. Another one is the ensemble learning, where we wanted to try to combine the various machine learning approaches and derive their outcome based on some sort of ensemble methods, just like stacking, bagging, boosting, majority voting, Bayesian combination. There are lots of techniques are there which are being used for the combined various decision which are derived from the various classification techniques or regression techniques. Ensemble methods is basically it is a combination of various classifications. Suppose that you are applying the 5 classifiers on the same problem, and you try to deploy the ensemble approach, then we can take the decision output of the 5 classifiers with the help of some aggregating approach, just like stacking or bagging or boosting or some sort of majority voting as there. On beyond of that, we can able to predict the results. So based on the ensemble methods, we can enhance the confidence of the result. And this is the current era where we are using the deep neural networks in the context basically for the deep learning paradigm, where basically then starting the basic paradigm of deep learning is based on the MLP, multi-layer perceptron. After that, we have increased the number of hidden layers and concepts, and the autoencoders and the kernel CNN concept has been derived from that. Further, some sort of modification is incorporated in the graph and architecture, and after that recurrent neural networks are derived, and there are lots of variants for the recurrent network, just like liquid state machine, long term memory, and the gated recurrent unit. This one is the other variants of the GAN is basically deep neural networks are generative adversarial network GAN. with बोला बता डिस्कस किया था हमने. With the help of GAN, they have generated the lots of fake faces. These people does not exist. Basically, they have used this model, this deep learning model generative adversarial network for generating all these fake faces. Currently, the GAN network is exploring in the area of medical images for the diagnosis of different diseases. Now come to the main topic, what is image mining? In current we know that with the development of the internet and the availability of image capturing devices such as digital camera, image scanners, the size of image collection is increasing rapidly. It means in current there are massive amount of images which are stored in the various platform on the web, just like a Facebook, on Google, various sites. And the main problem is that in the context of data mining, what is the major difference with what is the basic difference between a data mining and image mining is that basically image mining is a one application of data mining, but here we have changed the data. Here data is on the data. Here we are taking the data form of images. We know that the data mining is a process to extract the knowledge from the data. I can derive the knowledge discovery in the databases. Basically, data mining is also known as the KDD approach. How can we derive the knowledge from the databases for some sort of decision making and some sort of other applications. So basically, data mining is collections of various steps, just like a data cleaning, data pre-processing, data transformation for decision makings, or for mining of knowledge or information. There are some sort of techniques that are applied on that. Further, we can visualize the data based on their uh, information, based on the interpretation. So that need known as KDD. How can extract the knowledge from the? I can search the knowledge from the huge database. In the same concept, image mining is basically image mining the same. We have to extract the knowledge. We have to extract the information from the content of the images. So one of the major application of image mining is CVIR system, content based image retrieval system. It means we have to retrieve the we can retrieve the images based on the visual content of the images rather than giving some sort of rudimentary keywords. Just like previously there are concept of TVIR which are being used for the retrieval of images और अभी भी आप use करते हो. Suppose that you have to search the image of Sachin Tendulkar through the Google. You basically you try to just type the name of Sachin or Tendulkar on Google, and all the images which are tagged by the name of Sachin and Tendulkar, they will come on their screen. Suppose that it's in the same condition where I'm asking that you have to derive all the images of Sachin Tendulkar in standing mode. इसमें वो बल्ला हाथ में लेकर के और बल्ले को हवा में लहरा रहा है, इस तरह की एक इमेज आपको डिराइव करनी है. In that condition, we are not able to retrieve the images. We were not able to retrieve the images from the Google with the help of TVIR. Yeah, we have to write the keywords. Sachin Tendulkar in standing position, या Sachin Tendulkar in the taking the bat in their hand in that types of position, and we try to retrieve the images from the various sites which are available on the database, and Google will try to search all the images. In that condition, there are also one major issue is that suppose that you have loaded your images on any site and you have tagged the images by name of Sachin and Tendulkar, and you have tried to search the images with the help of Google search tool, and in that condition there may be chances that based on the keywords matching, it may be the आपकी image को they will show that this is Sachin Tendulkar, but Google is naturally smart and they know what is the exact requirement of the user, and behalf of that they basically the reason is that how they being the natural smart based on the learning कि what is the exact requirement of the user regarding the Sachin Tendulkar, ये कौन सी image वो चाहता है. So this is the image search and retrieval. This is a major concern of the image mining. This is a general text-based approach. Here we are giving the general description in the form of keyword. Basically, we are here. Suppose that you wanted to search the element of elephants. So here simply type the name elephants in the Google, and Google will search all the images from the image database from the various sites, which are basically they try to match the name elephants from the all keywords for the all the objects. After that, they will able to retrieve the images of all the images which are tagged by the name of elephants, and they will able to retrieve. This one is the text-based image retrieval system. The major advantage of text-based retrieval is easy to implement, and the retrieval is fast, and image-based searching is there. Google is using this searching. What is the disadvantage of this TVIR? Manual annotation is not always available for all the images. Plus, manual annotation is impossible for large database. Obviously, we have to give some sort of keywords to each images, and this is not possible. Plus, manual annotation is not accurate because we can give the wrongly when for the misunderstanding and assign the web different keywords to different images by different names, and the searching time maybe the system retrieve the false images. A major concern is that a picture is worth 1,000 words. With the help, suppose that you are extracting the images based on the particular picture, then you can easily extract the most relevant images from the database. Sometimes surrounding text may not be described the images properly. Just like this, here you're taking the images. That this is suppose that we have to retrieve just like an image from the Google. We have to retrieve in there. This concept is basically the visual appearance of this image is running our brain कि हाँ हमें ऐसी image search करनी है through Google. But problem is that we are not able to assign the proper keywords for this images. What is the exact representation of this image? When can type the content name of these images, and we are able to retrieve such type of images from the database. Because there are lots of background are there, and we are not able to understand what we have to type. Sunset scene, river or lake, campaign site, people, kayak, picnic, national park. It means there are lots of keywords are there and we are not able to write the exact keywords, we can retrieve the images which are visual appearance is quite similar like this image. But with the help of content-based image retrieval, we just simply derive the features of this image, and I can upload the contents of these images and go. After that, system will search all the visual similar images from the database, and after that, they are able to retrieve that visually similar images. In that conditions, we can system can retrieve the most relevant images according to that, according to our query. And in current scenario, Google are using this concept content-based image retrieval, where we can retrieve the images based on their visual content rather than typing the just general keywords. This is the general content-based approach. Here we are giving the input. Here not giving the name of that. We have to retrieve the images of element. Here we are giving the inputs as a form of visual content. And CVR system will search all the images from the databases from various sites, and they will retrieve all the relevant images of as per the query contents. This is a general working diagram for this. First, for the image databases, we have extract all the visual contents and make the feature databases. As when we have to retrieve the query images, we are simply feeding the query image, and after that we extract the same visual features and form the feature vector. So based on this feature vector, we compare the some sort of similarity between the all the features which are built in this particular feature database. Based on these learning, we find the highest similarity images, and after that, some sort of indexing is applied on that images, and we can retrieve the output. The basic fundamental concept is that we have to extract the features of all the images, and we have to maintain some sort of meta database for that. And the query images, same, we have to extract the same features. After forming the feature vector, we have to apply some sort of similarity measure for comparing the content of query image with the all images of database. And after that, forming some sort of indexing retrieval, we are able to retrieve the most relevant images. Suppose that we are receiving some sort of images which are not belonging to our query. In that conditions, we can give the feedback to the system that this image is irrelevant, this image is not belonging to as per the query content. In that condition, we have to change some sort of feature, we have to change some query formulation and try to enhance the system retrieval performance. This is the general DFD. Based on that, we have extracted the features. This is the image databases. When we have already extracted the features for that, we have tried to compute the similarity measures, and based on that similarity measure, you can use any similarity measure, just like Euclidean distance or for feature intersection and different methods. Based on the similarity measure, you can retrieve the images. What is the major challenges in CVIR? Basically, the major challenge is that when you are capturing the real images from the real world, then due to the sensory gap, it means कि जो हमारा कैमरा होता है उनके lenses, they are not able to capture the real description of the objects. It means कि some sort of content, some sort of visual information or information are lost when we are captured the images with the help of camera, with the help of some sensing devices. Another major concern is that after capturing the particular image, some sort of gap पहले create हो गया before after the forming of particular images. But again, when we are extracting the features from the images, then some sort of semantic gaps are introduced during that extraction procedure, because we are not able to represent the exact content of images with the help of image features. It means that some sort of informations are lost during that extraction procedure. This procedure is known as semantic gap. And then when you're capturing the image from the real world, and then some sort of loss of information due to the camera, due to the sensory gap, due to the this one is known as sensory gap. This is a nice example for the understanding the concept of semantic gap. Here you can say that there are two different objects are there. Here this one is in one different object, this one is a quite different object. But when we have extracted the features of this object and here we have extracted the features of this object in the form of histogram. This one is a histogram for this object, and this one is the histogram. This histogram, this one is the histogram for this object. Then the visual similarities of these histograms are quite similar. Both the histograms are quite similar. In that scenario, we are not able to discriminate the both objects based on these features because we try to interpret the objects, these objects based on these features, but these features are quite similar to each other. That's why you are not able to interpret this object based on these features. This is the nice example for the semantic gap. It means that some sort of additional, we have to introduce some sort, you have to incorporate some sort of additional features for reducing the effect of semantic gap. Yeah, we have to extract some sort of additional features on behalf of that our system will be able to discriminate both the objects. So these are the challenges. The most VR approaches are facing problem to fill the gap between the low level visual features and high level semantics. And the semantic of the images cannot be easily captured by the combination of low level features. जैसा कि हमने just previous example में देखा. The major challenges are there for the objects. The objects are nearly same, but the background illumination is quite different for different objects. Here you can say that the object is same, the major object is same. This way, but the background is quite different. Here background is different. Here background is different. Here background is different, but object is same. The illumination is a major issue. Scale and size. Object is same, but their size are different. Then in that conditions, machine our computer vision system or machine learning approaches, we can, when we are extracting the features, then some sort of information are lost for that particular object. Another issues are scale and size, where the size of objects are changing, the size of the objects are changed. Another issues are background clutter. When the backgrounds are very close to each other, then in that conditions, the discrimination is quite tough. Viewing point and different angles are the other major challenges for the same object. We are extracting and we are rotated the object in different directions, and object is same, but we have changed the angle for that object, and we have to retrieve the same object there. And then some sort of information for the each object, each rotated object are lost. And when you feed the particular information to the machine learning model or computer vision model, in that conditions, it may be they'll predict the wrong outcome. Occlusion, truncation, and articulation is another major challenge. Is intra-class variability. The object belongs to the same class, but the variability is quite high. Basically, all these are dogs, but the variability among the intra-class is quite high. In that condition, this is the major challenge. How we can discriminate the same object, dogs, from another objects. In inter-class variability is also major challenges when objects are quite similar. This one is dog, this one is cat, but they are highly similar to each other. So this is another major challenge. How can discriminate all these objects before going for the retrieval? These are the challenges for the CVIR system as well as for the object detection system, as well for the image mining, where we have to extract the knowledge, relevant knowledge from the images, because these challenges are applied for all the computer vision techniques and all the computer vision applications. Other challenges are fast image indexing, retrieval time. How can retrieve the images in short time of span, searching time, because there are lots of images available in a database and we have to search the images from the database. How can it reduce the searching time? How can take the help from the various data structure algorithm for reducing the indexing time and the retrieval time, searching time. There are lots of research are going on for reducing the indexing, retrieval, and searching times. They are they are incorporating the concept of binary search, linear search, and adaptive searching algorithm for reducing these times. Even they are using the B tree and other concepts. Storage is another major concern. These are the related components of the image mining: pre-processing, feature extraction, segmentation. We are in segmentation. Basically, we try to find the region of interest from the object. Clustering, group of similar types of objects based on their visual features. Classification. Similarity measures are also there because we have to calculate the similarity between the two different objects. Then different measures are already existed in the literature, but the outcome of the similarity measures, different similarity measures are different. So there are also lots of gaps and lots of scope to for retrieving the relevant images with the help of different similarity measures. इसको कैसे हम modify कर सकते हैं for the better outcome. Performance analysis. How can optimize the values of precision, recall, accuracy, indexing time, searching retrieval time. So all these are related components related to the image mining. So these are the feature extraction. Basic color features are there: color histogram, color coherence vector, color moments. The color histograms is basically combinations of, basically it is a histogram based on their intensities. Color coherence vector is a extended part of a color histogram. They are considering all the distribution on different bins. Color moments are the statistical distributions of their intensity of the objects and their images. In color moments, you can consider all the components just like mean, standard deviation, skewness, kurtosis, this type of information. This type of statistical information. All these are texture features: gray level, co-occurrence matrix, where we try to form some sort of matrix in a different angle, 45 degree, 90, 135 degree. Or after forming the matrix, we try to extract some sort of statistical features. Local binary pattern, and there are more than 10 variants are there for LBP. These features are computationally lightweighted and they can capture the transient characteristics of images: histogram of gradient, age histogram descriptor, speed up robust features, scale invariant feature transform. All their texture features, fast features. Currently in 2016, they have derived, derived the concept of fast features. Basically, fast feature is a features from the accelerated segment test. These are the texture features which are being used with the color. Another are safe features. Basically, we can define the safe features from the segmented regions. It means ki, first, generally the safe features are applied for the medical images databases where we have to find some sort of size of particular tumor or size of particular disease. And safe features are mainly applied for that. Before applying a safe feature, first we have to segment the region of interest. First we have to find the particular region of interest in the object. And after finding the region of interest, we try to capture their safe features by finding their major axis length, minor axis length, their eccentricity, what is the circularity for that. So all these are the safe features for that. And Fourier descriptor is also a kind of safe feature. Basically, we are applying the Fourier transform on the particular image, and basically it gives the boundary outline of the particular object. There are lots of moment invariants are there which are directly derived from the spectral distribution of the images. All these are the safe features. These are the similarity measures. The basic similarity measures are being used in the maximum literature is Euclidean distance. After finding the Euclidean distance, sort the measure in increasing order with the corresponding image and select the topmost. Obviously, after calculating the similarity measures as per the query content from all the images in the databases, then after that we sort the measures in increasing order and retrieve the topmost similarity measures value based on the topmost ranking. These are the other different similarity measures, fuzzy similarity measures in the image retrieval system. These similarity measures are based on, this is the formula for the fuzzy similarity measure, and their mu or mu v are the membership functions for the two different objects. Based on that one, you can calculate the some sort of similarity between the two objects, and after the sorting the membership values in increasing order, we are able to discriminate the object. For the identical pair of values, the similarity value is 1. These are the another similarity measure, sum of absolute differences, Canberra differences, sum of square absolute differences, maximum value differences, and coefficient, L1 distance, cosine distance. All these are similarity measures which are basically applied on the feature indexing and retrieval process during the query time. D1 distance, chi-square distances, correlation are the similarity measures are there. It means there are lots of similarity measures are there for retrieving the relevant images, but we have to select the measure in optimized way who basically कौन बेस्ट होगा हमारे लिए, और based on that we are able to apply for our problem. And lots of gap for the similarity measure is also there. Here we taken the comparative analysis as a case study for the content-based image retrieval system, and we have taken the one database, Wang database, for that. So in Wang database there are 1000 images from 10 different classes, and the expected features from the Wang database is we have extracted the histogram features, color moments, color autocorrelogram, invariant moment. This is a shape features. All this one is texture features. Gabber is also kind of texture feature. Wavelet transform is a texture feature. GLKN is a texture feature. So we have this one is a dimension of feature vector. So we have taken the Wang database, basically 10 different categories of images, and each category contains 100 images of African beach, building, buses, dinosaur, elephant, flowers, horses, mountain, and fruits. And the resolution of the images is given. There are two different resolutions are there: 256 into 384 and 384 into 256. These are the sample images for different queries. And we have calculated the performance measure precision and recall. The precision is calculated based on the formula number of relevant images retrieved, upon total number of retrieved images. And you can calculate the recall by using the formula number of relevant image retrieved upon total number of relevant image in the database. This is the general framework of the CBR system. We have this one is the image database. We have extracted the features, and we this one is the collections of all image databases. This is a collection of feature vector plus the indexing of the particular image. And at the query time, we have extracted the same features, and we try to calculate the similarity measure of the feature vector of query to the all image feature vectors which are available in the database. In that condition, because here we are taking the 1000 images, it means at the time of query feature we have extracted the features and try to find the similarity measures from the all images database. It means we'll get 1000 different values of similarity measures. Suppose that we are retrieving that, because there are 1000 images are available in database, we get the 1000 different similarity measures, and based on the 1000 similarity measures, after getting the different similarity measures as per the content of the query and the expected features which are stored in the database, then after finding the 1000 similarity measures, sort the measure in increasing order, and we can select the top most relevant images based on that measure values. These are the retrieval samples for that. So here we have given the query. Suppose that the query image is also is a part of database, then obviously the similarity measures दोनों का maximum होगा. in simulative measure कितना होगा? In that condition, suppose that we are giving the same object and you have expected the same features. So during the calculation of similarity measure for the same measure using the any similarity measure formula, obviously the similarity measure value is 0 IG for the identical object. And to go for the point increasing from the first one to the last one, the ordering is like that. Relevant images. This is the sample retrieval images for the query image African people from the this one is retrieval sample for the query image based on the here giving the query in the form of elephant queries elephant. Like you can say that some sort of images. This one is not belonging to the query. This image is not belonging to the query. Also, this image and this image is not belonging to the query. It means they are not part of query images. They are irrelevant images. They are retrieved as per the visual similarity. For the retrieval of all these images, we have taken the hybrid features. We have taken the combination of all the features. We have taken the 10 random queries for all the analysis, 10 random queries from the each database, and after finding the average of 10 random queries, this outcome is like that. For the African people, you can give the 72% precision for that. For the color movement 0.72, 0.28 GLCM features is that basically region is the performance of GLCM features and wavelet and Gabor and invariant moment is quite low. The reason is that the all the contents which are belongs to the WANG database is mainly color dominated. It means the retrieval performance of all these images are based on the color features because the visual content of the images are easily discriminated with the help of color features. There are no transit changes in their texture. That's why the performance of texture feature is quite low as compared to the color features. And you can see that the performance of dinosaur is quite 100% for the almost queries. The reason is that the background of the uh, dinosaur is quite different and overall there are the same object for the query as per the query. That's why system is able to retrieve, able to predict the images from the dinosaur classes in more authentic way. We have modified the same model using machine learning paradigm. Here we have extracted the same features, but using that feature, we have trained the model, machine learning model on that. And at the query time, we have extracted the same features and we have fed the extracted feature to our trained model. And based on the learning of that model, our system will predict the class of that object, and after predicting the class the searching will automatically narrow down in particular object. In that scenario we have drastically reduced the searching time, and also we can retrieve the most relevant images as per the query content, because here you are applying the concept of supervised learning because we have trained the model based on the learning based on the and for the training of model we are feeding their features plus their known labels. Based on that the model is trained, or after that we are at the query time we have expected the same, we are feeding the same model to the trained model, and after that prediction searching will done in that particular folder in that particular class. Based on the machine learning approach, you can drastically decrease the searching time and increase the retrieval accuracy. It means the successful categorization of images from database greatly enhance the performance of image retrieval by filtering out irrelevant class images during matching. And the CVIR retrieval performance is directly proportional to the classifier performance. The outcome of the same approach is there. You can retrieve all the relevant images based on the query. For the same African class, here you can say that for the same elephant class, here we have retrieved the images which are not part of the query, but in this machine learning, when we applied the machine learning approach, where you can see that all the images are belonging to the class of elephant. It means that for the same sample query, you are applying the supervised model, then we are able to retrieve the accuracy with having the most relevant images as per the query content. And this is the beauty of machine learning approaches. They can easily apply with the general method for enhancing the retrieval performance and any applications. Rather, these are the quantity outcomes for the same approach. We can retrieve any number of images. The retrieval outcome is quite encouraging as compared to the traditional conventional method we have directly, in which we have directly compared the similarity measure with all the indexing of the images. We have taken another case study for the supervised pre-clustering and retrieval. Here we have taken two different features: statistical color moment, where we extract the mean, deviation, skewness, kurtosis, and entropy from the images. Further, we have also extracted the orthogonal combinations of LBP features. We can extract the orthogonal combinations. Here we use basically you can use the orthogonal combination of LBP. Basically, the size of LBP features is, suppose that you have derived the LBP features directly from the images. The dimension of LBP feature is quite high. Then we can reduce the feature with the help of different variants. And here we use the different variants for the LBP, and it is orthogonal combination of LBP, and basically we try to reduce the dimension of the feature vector. So this is the variant of LBP, but we have modified the basic concept of LBP in another way and try to retrieve the relevant images. So this is the scope of research कि कहाँ हम explore कर सकते हैं. This is the histogram for that. This is the proposed pre-clustering approach because we have to apply some sort of image management techniques for the clustering of the images, and we have extracted the same features, and after the normalization we have used only 20% of images of data, 20% of images of database for the training of the model, and after the training of the model we have managed the different images, different 80% images into different folders based on their testing. So randomly we are taking the only 20% images as a ground truth for the training of the model. Based on that training, remaining we are putting the remaining 80% images in a different folder. It is just basically this is a kind of image management techniques we are putting in which we are putting the images in different cluster based on their learning. This is the retrieval model, which are quite similar, just like previously we have discussed earlier. After that clustering approaches, we have extracted the same feature. We are feeding the input to the trained model, and after finding the class of that one, the searching will reduce to the particular class, and we can retrieve the most relevant images by using the same feature. This is the pre-clustering based approach for the retrieval. Only 20% images यूज कर रहे हैं हम ट्रेनिंग के लिए. Here is using 80% images for the testing purpose, and we are retrieving suppose that we are retrieving 50 images, 50 most relevant images. So this is the outcome in the form of confusion matrix for that, and basically the for the 80% images you can see that the 80 images are classified for each class in a particular belonging. Here you can say that for applicant class, out of 80, 64 classes are classified correctly. For the week, just 60 classes, 60 images are correctly put in proper folder. For the monument, 49%. For buses, 74 images out of 80. For dinosaur, out of 80, 79 images are correctly put in the correct database, a correct folder. For elephant, out of 80, 56 images are put in the correct folder, and so on. This is a kind of image management technique. That means we are putting the images in different folder based by using the concept of confusion matrix. And the accuracy of this approach is 82.25. It means that we are trying to manage the images based on their visual contents. 82 point, and the success rate for that is 82.25%. It means 658 images out of a total 800 images to be sent to the correct libraries. These are the retrieval outcome. These are the retrieval outcome of using the approach, using the conventional approach, and this one the retrieval outcome using the pre-clustering and retrieval approach. Here we are feeding the same query. Here you can say that these images are irrelevant. This one is irrelevant. This one is also irrelevant. But suppose that we are using the pre-clustering and retrieval approach using the same feature, then you can see that all the images are irrelevant as per the query. For the elephant, we can see that here all the images are belong to the same query, but here we are retrieving the belonging of images is not identical as per the query content for the general approach. This is the precision and for the different approach, different combination of the approaches. You can say that the clustering, pre-clustering based approaches for the different variants of feature, the performance in terms of overall average precision, yeah, in terms of overall average recall, it's quite encouraging, quite significantly encouraging as compared to the conventional CVR system. We are trying to retrieve the images based on the visual similarity from all. These are the findings. Doing a linear search on the entire database takes a lot of time. Obviously, it will take lots of time, and the trained supervised model using some ground truth improve the retrieval accuracy and searching time by filtering out irrelevant images of the database. Basically, we are drastically reduce the searching time based on the pre-trained model, based on the few ground truth images. And Google is also using that ground truth images. Based on that, they have trained that model. It means by using the supervised learning based technique, not only improve the mining of images are very relevant as per the query content. CVR system assisted for the medical diagnosis, content-based medical image retrieval. Basically, we are applying the same. Basically, so we can apply the concepts of image retrieval for the diagnosis of different disease. So this one is the extension of the content-based image retrieval. This one is content-based medical image retrieval. This system can assist doctors and radiologists by finding relevant images out of a medical database of hospital to compare the current case with the past cases. Because suppose that in the hospital, basically they are each and every year they are interacting with a lots of patients, and they are managing their MRI data, discal data, ultrasounds data, fMRI data. So basically, they are analyzing the lots of data. That suppose that they are maintaining their data in their system with their diagnosis information and treatment. And suppose that the new cases have arrived, then in that scenario, they can apply the concept of content-based image retrieval. Suppose that they have put the query of that current case, and the system will retrieve all the cases from their hospital, from their database, and they can retrieve basically the system can retrieve the most relevant cases from the database, or based on that past cases, the doctors and the radiologists can diagnose the current cases. In current, they are maintaining in current, basically in hospital, they are maintaining the manual filing for all these, but with the help of content-based image retrieval system, they can automate all their activities. Here we're taking the we're taking the case study for the diagnosis of breast cancer. That's why we have used the terms digital mammography. Basically, digital mammography is an X-ray technique. Basically it is used for the diagnosis of breast cancer. Basically, they are imposing the X-ray region for capturing the tumor or normal from part, and Basically, after that, they have generated the X-ray images, and can use the X-ray images for the retrieval and diagnosis. This is a framework for the retrieval where you are using the basic K-mean clustering. You can here best K-mean clustering use कर रहे हैं. This one is database of the hospital. After applying some sort of preprocessing for removing the noise and other artifacts, we have extracted the features. We have extracted the LBP feature and other features, and we have formed the different clusters. Here we have formed the two clusters because here we basically our application is you have to diagnose the breast cancer is a particular person who belongs to the healthy part, or particular tumor is healthy or non-healthy. So that's why you've taken only two clusters for this. This one is the offline feature extraction process. It means we have maintained the indexing, we have maintained the clustering process, and we have stored all the data based on their clustering approaches. Suppose that any persons who are situated in any places, they have put their query, they have their X-ray mammograms, and they have uploaded their query. So after applying the pre-processing phase, the system has extracted the same features, and after that feeding the feature, the system will try to find the closest cluster based on their similarity. So suppose that based on the feature vector, the system will try to find the closest cluster. Suppose that system will find that a particular feature belongs to this cluster. And all the images which belong to this cluster, they will be retrieved. और ये वाली ignore हो जाएंगे. So basically, it means here we are reducing the searching time because we are retrieving the images from only one specific cluster rather than all the cluster of the images. It may be that we are reducing the searching time and we are enhancing the retrieval time. So this is the precision, this is for number of retrieved images. You can see that the performance of local binary pattern for the same mammogram retrieval for the normal and abnormal digits quite encouraging as compared to the GLCM, SIFT and STIR features. Even when retrieving the number of 50 relevant images. Obviously, when we are retrieving only one or two images, the retrieval performance is almost 100% for all of them because at the top of the similar images, almost they belong to the same class. But when extracting the number of images, increasing the number of images, then there may be some chances that some images has come. Basically, they are derived which are doesn't belong to the query of the query images. So this is the scenario for the diagnosis of breast cancer using X-ray mammograms, the outcome of LVP features is quite encouraging as compared to the others. This is the searching time. Suppose that you are not applying the clustering, then the retrieval time for the same query images is like this. We are taking the more time for the computational time for the same approach, but when you apply the clustering based approach and you are retrieving the 50 images, then it will basically drastically decrease the searching time for the same query. This is the beauty of clustering based approaches, because with the help of clustering approaches, you can drastically reduce the searching time and also the outcome of the images. This one the retrieval snapshot of the system. Suppose that we are giving the query image like this of X-ray images. These are the all relevant images from the databases. We here will say that this one and this one image is the most relevant. Then according to that, according to this description, the doctor and the pathologist can start their treatment because they have already the all information related to this patient की यह patient आया था तो diagnosis किया कि उसको क्या problem है क्या problem नहीं थी, what the treatment they have given and what is the outcome of that particular treatment. They have maintained the metadata with the particular images, and then we easily start the treatment. Even many persons are situated in any remote area, and suppose that we have launched a website for that, anyone who has living in any area, they can upload the query from there and they are able to retrieve the relevant images from the system. Also, with the help of metadata, they can aware about that what is the disease problem with the particular image and what is the outcome and what is the treatment which are applied by the particular hospital. Suppose that AIMS or BHU, they are applying some sort of techniques for that, they can other hospitals which are situated in the remote area, they can also take the advantage from this. These are on the another outcome for the another class problem, abnormal images. Then you can say that the maximum images are relevant as per the query images. So here you're applying the image mining technique. Based on the current query, you are trying to analyze the past data. Medical image retrieval is using deep learning paradigm. So same, you are using the same concept for that. Same mechanism are there. We are extracting the features or maintaining the databases. But for the context of deep neural network, suppose that you have to maintain the query images, you have trained the model, but here you applying, suppose that you are applying the convolutional neural network for the training of the model. Basically, here in the previous problem, we are using the in the previous case study we have used the machine learning based approach, but here we are using the deep neural network, convolutional neural network for the training of the model. Basically, the training is based on the training data set. Here we are not extracting the handcrafted features. Here we are directly fed the entire images in form of their intensity to the model, and model is trained based on their intensity. Here you are not feeding the handcrafted feature, just like a local binary pattern, yeah, shift feature, yeah, HOG feature, yeah, GLCM feature. Here we are directly feeding the pixel intensity of the image for the training. Suppose that yeah model trained हो गया, and we have extracted the hidden intermediate weights as a feature vectors for that. At the query time, we are maintaining the feature database. At the query time, we have extracted the same feature and we are giving the input to the trained model. The model is trained based on the training data set. It will predict the class of that images, or after the prediction, we have calculated the similarity measure from the feature database and you can retrieve the most relevant images. So here we are simply applying, simply applying the deep neural network, and basically applying the convolutional neural network rather than simply machine learning model, just like a support vector machine or Bayesian based classifier. Here using a CNN model for that, but the working paradigm is quite same. But here we are directly feeding the entire pixel intensity for the training of model rather than the handcrafted features like a basically local binary pattern and GLCM. We are feeding the pixel intensity for the training of the model. Otherwise, the entire working model is similar. But the beauty of deep neural network is that the accuracy performance after training of the model, the performance detection performance is quite encouraging as compared to the significantly encouraging as compared to the machine learning model. Suppose that these are the different interclass variations are there. This is different modalities are there. There are 24 different modalities, and we have trained the CNN based on all these modalities. I mean, here you can say that there are lots of intra-class variations are there. All these images are belongs to the same class, but the visual appearance of all these images are quite different. This image belongs to the same class for the liver, but the visual appearance of all these images are quite different. Even this image belongs to the stomach, but the visual appearance of all these images is quite different. This is the major challenge ki how the system can able to discriminate all these images based on the learning. That's why for all such kind of operation, general machine learning model is not working properly. That That's why we have to apply the deep neural model for the training of such type of images based on their visual appearance. This is the retrieval outcome for the chase class, where see that some images are irrelevant as per the query content. Well, almost are relevant to the as per query. This is a renal class as a special class of the kidney, where you're retrieving images. Some images that are belong to the belonging of these images are irrelevant class. Basically, they belong to different classes, but maximum images, the visual appearance of maximum belongs to the same classes. And the overall outcome for the 28 classes is approximately more than 95% for this data set. So this is the beauty of image mining, where you can apply the image mining techniques for the analysis of you can track the for the analysis of images, for extracting the knowledge from the images, for searching with the help of content-based image retrieval, where you can search the relevant images as per the query, and also you can apply these concepts on a various domains, just like we have taken the domain of image retrieval in medical domain, where you can retrieve the relevant images as per the query, which can help the radiologist and doctors for their diagnosis and the further treatment from the current cases from past cases. Another applications of these applications can use for the crime detections and other parts. Suppose that uh, we can we can enable this approach with the with the Aadhaar card and biometrics. And suppose that we're finding a fingerprint of anyone from any remote any area, then we're able to, with the help of that fingerprint matching, we can retrieve the images from the Aadhaar card databases, and I can analyze the dead images, and based on that they are also maintaining the metadata, just like what is the address of particular person and other information that you can easily track the particular persons. These are the security threats, and you can prevent the crime. You can detect the crime from any remote area, even in the public places, based on the fingerprint and the replication. So this is the beauty of retrieval कि can you use, अगर हमें मिल गया क्वेरी के फॉर्म में कुछ भी और हमारे पास डेटाबेस है, then can we really trace the cases. Another concern is text analytics. Basically, text analytics is major concern. It is text classifications, and there are various there are different applications which are being used for the text classification, just like a spam filtering. The spam filtering, this is a very mature field in the text classification, and filtering which email is to show in the inbox and which email to put in the spam. This is general application of spam filtering. In the sentiment analysis, this is a classification task. This is a text classification task which will classify people's opinion expressed in the piece of text. Suppose that everyone is using their Facebook and social media, they are typing some sort of text on the web. So we have to analyze their sentiments based on that these texts. This is a sentiment analysis. What we are writing based on, we can analyze their mood and other things. Even you can analyze the social mining for the prediction and other outcomes. Suppose they'll get the entire data from the Facebook or another social sites, and we're applying the social mining for the sentiment analysis, or we have some sort of prediction or some sort of, suppose that in current elections is going on in any state, and we have fetched the data from the sites, and we have applied some the mining of data, basically social mining on that, on the entire data of the Facebook. Then we can easily estimate the prediction के what the exact things are going on a particular social media, and on behalf of that we can easily predict the outcome of. This is one application is sentiment analysis. Basically, another is the intention mining, the finding the future decision of finding the future decision of a person based on the text. Suppose that they are any person, they are typing anything, and or you are analyzing the particular text कि ये future में क्या decision देने वाला है. Some sort of another application, gender identification, based on the writing you are able to find the particular person belong to gender. The document classifications, part of speech tagging, natural language processing. All these are basically category. All these are one application of text analytics. It means कि हम कहीं ना कहीं अप्लाई कर रहे हैं टेक्स्ट को. This example is basically for documents where we have maintained the suppose the ACME articles, and we have to classify the various categories of this article based on the based on the text contents. We are able to discriminate the object. Yeah, this particular article belongs to belongs to the technology field, in the another article belongs to the sports field. Yeah, another article belongs to the entertainment field. The basic learning model for the text classification for the various application is quite similar. We are giving the for the training phase, we are extracting the feature from the text, and based on the some known label and extracted features, basically we are trained, basically we have trained the machine learning models. And at the prediction time, we are giving the inputs and we have extracted the same feature. Yeah, we have applied the same mechanism for the feature extraction, and these extracted features are fed to the class trained model, and the classifier model is able to predict the some sort of labels based on their learning. So this is the general paradigm for the text-based classification. Here we have taken the case study for the SMS spam filtering. One minute. We try to correlate the concepts of text classification based on the case study. SMS spam, so basically we have to filter them as spam. Basically, machine learning algorithms work very well with numbers. Where in the context of previous examples, we have taken the previous example for the image mining other parts. We have extracted the feature in the form of numbers. So then, for that scenario, machine algorithms works very well. But when it comes to text, we have to do some pre-processing to make our model predict well. So here, first we have taken the data from Kaggle and imported it using the popular Python library for data analysis known as pandas. Panda को यूज किया है pandas को कि हमने डेटा को इंपोर्ट करने के लिए. और बेसिकली pandas क्या करता है? Allow us to import the data in the CSV and store it into the pandas specific data structure. So firstly we have to import the data. First we have to import the pandas. After that we have to import the data. Data in the CSV format में था, हमने इसको import कर दिया. We have passed the parameter for encoding. This is because our data set contains a certain character that is not supported by the default codec and pandas read CSV function. After importing the data, basically using these lines of code, we have to pre-process the data. It means in pre-processing, first we have to remove all non-alphabetic characters. It means the non-alphabetic characters, when it comes to text classification, basically when we use the words as the features. So it's important to remove the unwanted characters such as numbers, punctuations. Emoji will also, suppose that some sort of emoji is presented in the image, and here for this application, presented in the text for this application for the spam filtering or for the spam detections, there are no need of emoji. Then we have to find the emoji images from the context and we have to eliminate them. So The first stage is remove non-alphabetic characters. For removing the non-alphabetic characters, you are importing the concept of the data analytics, import the regular expression concepts. Based on the regular expression concept, you can remove all the numbers which are basically the pattern whose any character other than the A to Z, small a to z and capital A to Z. So here basically we have imported the regular expression approach from the end. The other sub pattern method will take the three parameters. So the sub methods है, first one is this one is the pattern. In the above pattern, we can see that any character other than A to Z or small a to Z और capital Z A to Z के जितने भी patterns हैं वो सारे यहाँ राइट हो जाएंगे और उनको एलिमिनेट कर देंगे और फाइनल द कंटेंट विल स्टोर इन द फॉर्म ऑफ SMS. Further, we make the word lower cases. Suppose that in the text or some sort of elements are written in capital and some sort of elements text are written in small letters. So for making the uniformity, suppose that we have written the go and go in small and capital, then the basic meaning of in the context of computer, the basic meaning of both are different. For that's why for maintaining the uniformity, we have to convert the entire number in one cases. That here we are converting the entire SMS which are received after removing the non-alphabetic characters. So we have converted the entire message into lower form using the code sms.lower. This is simple functions. sms.lower, then entire text will convert it into lower cases. Remove the stop words. Basically, stop words in the text classification words that don't have any impact on the deciding the class of text. For example, words like the, we, a, will, and etc. All these are the stop words. So we have to eliminate all the. We have to remove. First, we have to find all these words. After finding, we have to delete. You have to remove all these words from the data, from the text data. तो इस कोड में आप देखो यहाँ पे सबसे पहले we have imported the NLTK library from the Python. तो NLTK library को हमने import किया है जो नेचुरल लैंग्वेज टूल किट हमारी लाइब्रेरी है. And after that we have downloaded the data set पंकेटी डेटा सेट जो हमारा ये डेटा सेट है इसको डाउनलोड किया है. बेसिकली ये डेटा सेट्स है they have stored all the collection of all the stop words. And if the word exists in the list with the help of this NLTK Pankiti dataset, basically this one hold all the stop words. After loading these stop words, here we have make the token of that one important, and after that we can eliminate the stop words. Further, we go for the stemming. So stemming basically is the process of finding the base word. Let's take the suppose that we are taking the word runnable, running. The basic base word is run. And जो कोई सेंटेंस है उसके वर्ड का फर्स्ट फॉर्म, थर्ड, सेकेंड फॉर्म, थर्ड फॉर्म या सारे एग्जिस्ट करते हैं तो वी हैव टू फाइंड द बेस वर्ड फॉर दैट. So just like जैसे the word runnable, running, the base word for the runnable, running is run. So we have to find such types of base word, because suppose that we have to apply the bag of words approach for the spam classification or for the detection of spam. Then the overall entire the feature extraction is based on the number of counts. So suppose that in the text we are using runnable or running, another the basic meaning of both are run. Then we have to find all the such type of estimated word, and after finding that estimated word, we have to list out that one. So for that we have using basically for Porter stemmer is a library is already given for that. With the help of this Porter stemmer, we can remove all the such types of word. AI can filter this all the such types of words, and after that we can convert the word. We have to check out the spelling of the word because there are different representation for the text. We have to check out the spell correction. So there are already library are they are there. We can import the library autocorrect smeller. On using this function, we can check it out all the spelling of the words if they are correct or not. Or basically using this library can automatically correct the spelling of all the text which are belonging to particular data. And after all this processing works, we can create the text with the list of word in the tokenized. Basically, we are extracting the features for that. We have created of the counting of the each text using this function. And after counting of the function, now we have to train the we have to form the some sort of data set for the model because for the training of the model we have to use some sort of data set. Basically we have to form some sort of data set from the text data. After the pre-processing we are using the bag of words approach to classify the object. So in the bag of words approach we will take all the words in every SMS, then count the number of occurrence of each word. How many times a particular number is going to repeat, and according to that counting, we'll put them in the data set. Suppose that बहुत सारे नंबर आ रहे हैं तो सपोज वी हैव टू डिफाइन सम सॉर्ट ऑफ थ्रेशोल्ड फॉर द फ्रीक्वेंट काउंटिंग जिसे यहाँ पे डिफाइन कर ले सपोज दैट कि we'll consider only 1000 word most frequent words for the particular text data, then all these 1000 words will be the features for our detection problem. So here, suppose that we are given the documents with this one. Suppose that is all the terms, all the frequent use terms, just like a beginning, earth, and God is there, and here you have to just count the counting of all these words. So this earth जो 2 times आया, God 3 times, the beginning 1 time. This is a general representation of that. Based on this general representation, we can create the sample data set. जैसे कि पूरे डेटा सेट में एनालाइज किया, दिस वन द फीचर्स फॉर डेटा किट आर call, from, hello, home, how, me, all these are most frequent words, and these are the numbers for the how many times they have repeated for the problem. Here this is for the sample 0. Suppose that we have taken the sample first sample and the repetition and the counting of this sample is like this one. The counting for the sample 2 is like this one. The counting of sample 3 is like this one, and the counting of sample 4 is like this one. So this is the data set. Here we are defining the class of the object. The counting of all these correct all these text, all these words. Here, yeah, all these words are just like a features, and row is just like a sample. If the counting of all these words is like this, then we are saying that the particular particular mail is belongs to the spam class. Suppose that the counting of this text is like this, then the counting particular sample belongs in the normal class and it is not a spam. Suppose that the counting of all these features is like this, then we are putting in the spam class, and we are nahi hai, we are putting the in the non-spam classes. So based on these data types, we are basically we are trying to train the model. और आफ्टर द ट्रेनिंग ऑफ द मॉडल, तो पहला हमारा बेसिक अप्रोच क्या था कि फर्स्ट वी हैव टू डिराइव द डेटा स्ट्रेट फ्रॉम द टेक्स्ट डेटा. For deriving the data set in Python, first we have to import the data. After that, we have applied the some sort of pre-processing on the data because machine learning model is working well on the number data set. So we have to extract the data in the numeric form from the textual data. After finding some sort of relations for removing the data word irrelevant words, stopping words, converting the data into lower form, and after the stemming and other form, basically finally for forming the exact features we have calculated the most frequent 1000 numbers of words as a feature. After that we have counting the particular, suppose that हमने एक mail receive किया, we have received one mail, So then we have to count the all these features की ये word जो है win, shall, win, ये सब कितने time repeat हुआ. And after that we have formed the data set for the particular email. After that, suppose that we have received another email, and again we have count the numbers for all these words, and again we have to maintain the data set, and some sort of well-known some sort of inputs we have to give in for during the training of the model. It means ki based on the text we have formed the data set, but and we have to feed the outcome कि हाँ ये input था तो ये particular जो mail था वो spam था, ये input था तो particular mail non-spam था. तो on behalf of that samples we have to train the model, and after training, when model is trained, we are able to apply the prediction mechanism on that, and we can easily predict the class of any approaches. Just suppose that कोई SMS आया, pay your connection bill of 2000, so we are predicting that it is not a spam model. Suppose that we received my message win 20,000 by participating in the lottery, it belongs to the class of spam. Based on the learning of the messages, we have created a data set. Here we are also creating data set. Suppose that we have received this message. First we have to apply the pre-processing phase, and after that we'll get the matrix of database in the form of 1 cross 1000, and you are feeding this 1 cross 1000 data set to the trained model, and after that trained model will predict the class of particular text की ये belong करता है in spam class या not a spam class. This is the overall of the predictions. All these are the references. Thank you. Any questions from? Thank you for the question.
Okay, participant, do you have any question? You may ask. Okay, so I think they are not having any questions, sir. Okay, so
I have one question.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Your lecture was very good, sir, and I have enjoyed your lecture, sir. Sir, just I want to know, sir, if we are having the image and it is containing irregular shapes, so how can we extract the feature, sir? Suppose I want to classify something, and I am working actually in medical images, as you already discussed in your slides. So, sir, how can we detect that features which are in irregular shapes? So we are not having any specific patterns. Whatever data set we are having is not containing specific.
All the images belong to the irregular patterns. Some images belong to the irregular pattern.
No, sir. Every object is not regular pattern. Whatever object in the images are not in the same or not having any kind of exact pattern, sir.
And what is the visual representation of the images? They are basically texture. They are X-ray images or ultrasound MRI.
Sir, actually they are in 2 or 3 colors. So
because based on the representation, suppose that they are X-ray images. In that condition, that we can put the extended version of the region going algorithm for the proper segmentation. Because suppose that the particular disease या tumor है जो किसी irregular positions पे है, कहीं भी unpredictable positions पे है, we are not able to decide कि हाँ यहीं पे होगा region of interest. In that condition, we can find the initial seed at the highest, the brightest point, and you can explore the region going algorithm or any watershed algorithm for finding the region of interest for that X-ray images. But for the colorful images, there are variant versions for the colorful k-means are there for the segmentation. In that condition, we can apply the colorful and an extended version to find the exact region of interest. Histopathological image है कौन सी? Histopathological images are there are in.
Sir, it is related to breast cancer, sir.
Is it ready to, I think this
Yeah,
one.
yes, sir. Histopathological images, sir.
You can do the histopathological images. You can apply the concept of color means color decay means clustering for that. You can for the recognition performance is not up to the mark, but we have tested for that. The we can receive basically the Jacob coefficient up to 78 to 79% for that. It means we are able to retrieve approximated 80%. We have to find the correct region of interest approximated 80%. And out of 100 image, out of 100 histopathology, 80 images का region of interest सही आता है using the color K-mean clustering. Hello.
Okay. Okay. Participant, do you have?
We can apply the color K-mean clustering on. कुछ check कर सकते हो आप. ये हमने check किया हुआ है इसको. और एक आर्टिकल भी है इस पे आप देख लेना, वो पब्लिश हुआ है. कलर K-mean for the irregular shape region of interest की जो पहले से पता नहीं होता ये कहाँ पे है. Then we can apply that.
Okay, sir. Okay. Do you have any question, participant? I think no question, sir. So thank you very much, sir, for a nice session. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
We will
Thank
take
you.
yeah. Sir, we will take a one snap. So I request to all to please switch on your video camera. So we will take a one snap, sir.
Actually,
Please
I'm taking
participate.
back
Yes, sir.
later on. I'm taking from desktop and.
Yes. Sir. Okay, if you are having the webcam, sir, please switch on. So we will take a one snap.
Okay, 1 minute.
Yes, yes, sir.
Bring from mobile.
Yeah, yeah.
Link करता हूँ mobile को.
Yes, sir. So all the participants, please switch on camera. So we'll take a snap with the speaker.
I'm trying to connect.
Yes, sir. But I think your picture is not visible here.
नहीं. अब हुआ. Not visible.
Mm, sir, I think so. It is not visible. Yeah. Yes, sir. No, but it is not
Hello.
clear, sir. Some sound is coming, please. Yes, sir. Now your video is coming, sir. But your please adjust the yes. Okay. Thank you very much to all the participants, and thank you very much, sir, for giving a talk and sharing your thoughts with us. Thank you very much, all the participants. We will meet again at 3 p.m. So after the lunch break, we will meet again at 3 p.m. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, participants. So switch off your video. We will meet again at 3 p.m. for next session. Thank you very much.